We're going to get this poor little guy's hoofs taken care of today. It's been well over a year before these have been attended to. Miniature horses are often found in this condition because sometimes they're treated more like a My Pretty Pony that gets put away like a toy and doesn't get picked up again. Pretty sad, but we're going to provide some comfort before the vet comes out and finishes up with x-rays. We're going to do what we can by just starting to trim all this off, and it's going to require a saw, nippers, and knives. Check this out. It's interesting what happens to this hoof. Let me bring it back and I'll show you. People often say, I'll just let my horse's hoofs wear away, like a Mustang in the wild, but that just doesn't happen to these miniature horses at all. What you're looking at there is a hill that just kept on growing, and then it fell backwards. And once it broke back, this horse started walking on the back of his hill. And once that happened, nothing wears away. It'll just simply grow to infinity and can begin curling upward. And besides the looks, that does nothing to talk about what it does to the ligaments and tendons inside the hoof and the bones that holds it all together. Which is, to be honest, why I'm starting with this first and basically unwrapping this burrito, because I do have concerns that there could be an exposed coffin bone in the bottom of that hoof that's actually fallen through because of the bending to a mechanical founder, where the tension has finally caused that bone that's pointy to turn down and maybe go through the hoof sole. So right now I'm basically pulling away this hoof that has just grown out, forming what would be a tube if it wasn't built like a burrito. And that blackness in there is everything from debris to hoof sole to the frog that just sat in there growing unconditionally and getting all kinds of debris and microbes inside. So we never quite know what we're going to find in there. And you can see this guy is uncomfortable on his feet because you can see him start to twitch and lift up on the other side occasionally. Here's a few good moments where I find myself just sort of holding him up, not letting go, because though this is uncomfortable, the work still needs to get done so he can get taken care of. And now as I go, I'm working my way to the back of that hill, and this is the areas where the red stuff can be located. This other part, I'm not concerned about that, but as I work my way to the back, I get a lot more concerned because there's some distortion in the hoof. You can see that heel kind of hooking in and making some abnormal turns. So I do get concerned that I could hurt this guy. I mean, enough damage has been done without me trying to help and causing damage. So I have to be very careful with him. So I do give him breaks. So now I've taken my knife out and I'm really going to do some exploring here. And you can see that black piece in there that you see, that is the horse's frog. You see how white it is? That's actually that piece that's just grown forward. I'm taking out something that's 4 times its length because the tip of that frog is just grown like a snake trying to make it out of a cave. Funny how nature works. I'm starting to use some of my finer tools here because I'm wanting to dig and make sure that I'm not going to hit anything that's fleshy. Like I said, getting this done is hard enough. Causing more problems is not needed for this little guy. Well, obviously, he's had it with bringing his hoof forward. He's been put through enough, so I think he needs to be watching me do what I need to do. Which, now that I know what's there, I'm going to bring this hoof forward and use my saw on it that I actually had to go purchase at the local hardware store because I knew I was going to need it as soon as I found out that this guy was curling up. And yeah, this is stressful on the horse, so he's a little stress eater, so we're going to give him some food and keep him occupied so I can work, because things are getting pretty difficult here. So let him eat away, let him stress eat, and let me get this hoof taken care of. Interestingly here, if you look close, you can see that frog that's sticking up through there, and there's much more of that to take away. So right now I'm just trying to make quick work of it. Getting the saw blade in there is a little bit difficult with a moving target. I want to make sure that I say it again and again. Please, good Lord, do not do this unless you're a hoof care professional and you know what every single bit of that horse's anatomy is located. Because yes, I can certainly cut into flesh, but there's also a bone located in here. And sawing into that sure would be the end of this little guy. So yeah, I'm just sawing through this now, being really careful. You see me taking that blade away. I'll be honest, I'm checking to see if I'm hitting anything, but I'm not. It's remaining dry and I'll just say sort of bone-like. It's like cutting through a very hard candle, or more like a piece of PVC is probably the best way to put it. blade's about to fall through. Watch this. There it is. Really nice. Now you can see what we were sawing through. Check this out. Nice clean cut right through there. Not a bit of the red stuff. Check this out. This is what the hoof looks like now. I'm going to take that and clean it up. Again, I'm looking like he's a real horse again and not an elf on the shelf. This is certainly a time that you need to know what you're doing. Now I'm going to start making this look like a real hoof again. And I've got somewhere to start. You can see right here that I'm going to start taking that heel back toward the heel bulbs. I have a good idea of where the sole's located now. We do not see the coffin bone in the foot. I was worried about a projection of that and that thing being exposed to air, which, you know, under a lot of circumstances would certainly mean the end of any horse. And I'm pretty comfortable here to be doing some good rough cutting because of a lot of experience with miniature horses and just big horses in general, and more than a few dissection clinics to actually go inside the hoof and know where everything's located. Well, would you look at this? There's a frog in there. See that? Check that out. Nice and squishy, and yeah, it's a little bit diseased, but it's not too bad actually. This should be giving you a good idea of the size of that hoof we're actually dealing with now. And I'm really just trying to get a lot of the old sole out of here at this point. That's been embedded in there for over a year. I'm gonna work this heel down, see where that hook takes me. See that hook? We saw that earlier. That's part of this hoof being smashed. You can also see the disfigurement of the frog and how that has pretty much become zero use to this horse at all. I mean, it looks like it's jetting toward the outside because it's being shoved by that inside here. And I'll show you this again. The vet will come out, but you don't see a lot of the laminal stretching. That's the area that looks like little hair projections coming up from about the middle of that horse's hoof. I'll just keep on going. And now I'm bringing this forward, really keeping an idea of the original hoof, what a horse's hoof is supposed to look like in the first place. I'm going to use my rasp now and start tuning this baby up, working back that toe, and I'm working underneath. You can see that underneath part starting to get more of an angle to it and put on more like a toe. Check this out. He's not an elf anymore, but we're still going. Usually I work the outside of the hoof with my rasp when I'm up top, but this time I'm really going under, trying to get rid of some of that old sole and see if we can give this baby a real foot again. So check this out now. Back on some semblance of a hill, and look at that other hoof. And I'll say we've done some pretty good work for the day. When we're completed, a veterinarian will come out, take some x-rays of these hooves, make an assessment for angle changes or anything else we need to do, and he'll be on his way. And let's hope for the best, guys.